You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Mindset and Motivation Monday, one of my absolute favorite shows for me personally, because as I'm recording, as I'm speaking these words, what I try to do is absorb them and absorb the information that I've learned from many thousands of mentors from all over the world, their books, their teachings, their seminars, and I try to distill it into a message which I believe will serve you, which will allow you to achieve more of that which you want in your life. And I also want to go over today the 3 different categories of people and who out of those 3 is on the way to reaching their goals, where who might be falling a little bit behind. So what I want to do is share with you the 3 different categories. You'll be able to assess where you fit in and the likelihood that you end up reaching your dreams, that you're achieving your goals, and that you live that life, passion, and fulfillment. So that is where we're going to go today with the show. I believe it's going to be absolutely crucial that you take this information in and that you can then also maybe help someone else on their path. You can assess by their self-talk where they're at right now and then maybe offer them a little bit of encouragement. Because I'm telling you right now, the more that you try to help others, the more that you try to be of service to others, the more that you grow as well. I believe it's part of that human journey, that human experience, that the more we give, the more we get. Literally, that as we give more to others, we actually receive in that process. That allows us to feel more fulfilled. We feel like we're doing good for our fellow man and woman. It's so important, and I can't say that enough, because that's what I found in my life. If I'm ever feeling a little bit down, if I'm not feeling like I'm on the correct path, if I'm not doing what I believe I should be doing, I go out and I teach. I record a video. I record a podcast. I do a Facebook Live. I do something that I believe will offer some value to someone out there. Now, maybe it's only a couple people, but at least those couple people, it may motivate them. It may teach them where the right next step is. And I believe you can absolutely do the same in your life as well. So where I want to start today is this. There are 2 big decisions you're going to have to make in your life. And we'll get to those 3 categories of people in just a moment. But before we get to there, you need to ultimately make this decision. You have to either live with the ultimate understanding that you're going to have to take a risk in life. That next risk, now you can obviously hedge your bets, that you don't have to be too risky, but you're going to have to take a risk at some point to get from wherever you're at right now to where you want to be. Because if the path you are on right now, or the life that you are currently living, was going to lead you to your goals, you may likely have already achieved it. So meaning that, like for example, it's very easy to look at weight loss. If you've been following the same plan for 6 months, and you're not making any new progress, the likelihood that you make more progress 6 months from now is very small. The same when it goes with, let's say, a wellness-based plan. Although it can take a little bit longer, if you have not made any progress in 6 months, we need to begin to look at a different plan. Now, whether it's a body transformation plan or a wellness-based plan, it may take working with a new practitioner. It might take working a completely different plan that you might be worried about potentially failing on this new plan, potentially not getting it right, or it may not work again. And that is part of the risk that you might take. Same with relationships. Let's say you've never been in a great relationship. Who's to say, and why would it be any different in the next relationship? Well, eventually, as long as you're working on yourself and you're working to literally visualize and attract that right person, hopefully you will be able to meet and attract that new person. Now again, but that's a risk. It's a risk that you need to get out there again and meet more people. And it may not be the next person. Same with spirituality. You could feel lost right now. You might not feel connected with the people around you, with your community, with a higher power. Again, that can feel frustrating. It can feel lonely. You might feel nervous. You might not know where you stand in the world. But not doing anything is not allowing you to move closer either. And the last one that I typically talk about is career, or your passion project, or the thing that gives you some meaning or maybe brings the financial stability that you need into your life. And if you don't see yourself on track to be able to grow in your current position, now a lot of people just takes time. You might just need time. That's all that it is. But if there is no future plan, if there is no track that you could see yourself moving forward on, or you're simply just not in the right career for you, it might be time at some point to take that risk and move forward in the direction that you're truly passionate about. Because to all of our knowledge, who knows, we might become reincarnated. There might be so much more, but we don't know definitively. What I can tell you is this: wish for, hope for what you want in life and in the next life and whatever else might be there for us. But take advantage of the gift that we've been given. Take advantage of this life right now. And sometimes, as I said, in order to get to that next level, there's going to be some level of risk. So you can either choose to take that risk, or you can choose the next option, which is regret. Now, unfortunately, what can happen is if we never go for that next body transformation protocol, that next wellness-based protocol, that new relationship, this spiritual-based path, or our career, our passion project, etc., if we never go for that, we may always look back with regret and say, I wish that I did that. I wish I had gone for it. Or maybe, what would life be like if I had gone back out there and tried to meet the right person? Or I'd worked harder on my current relationship. Or I'd really looked for a different alternative from my wellness-based issues. Or I switched careers, or I began to work part-time in another career. I began to moonlight in something I was truly passionate about until I could afford to make that full-time switch. So again, when we look in life, life is not full of easy choices. I don't believe that, and I'm not one to sugarcoat it. But here's the thing. You do get to choose. The choice is not always easy. Some of us are born maybe with a little bit of a head start over others. But then again, you don't always know what someone else is going through in their life. You don't know the health challenges they faced maybe when they were younger. You don't know the family situation that they grew up in. We never know. We don't know. People quietly suffer every day their own personal battles. So you can never say, oh, that person's so lucky, because you have no idea. Everyone faces their own challenges, and they're just in different parts of their life and at different times of their life. So my recommendation is this, though. I want you to decide right now, are you willing to take the risk? And again, there could be pain involved with that. Or are you willing to potentially live with the regret of never having gone for it? And I don't know which one is more frightening for you, because there is a little bit of being afraid of the unknown. Both of them are the unknown. You don't know if you're going to regret never doing it, and you don't know if you're going to regret taking the risk. What I can tell you is this, though. Very few people regret taking the risk. And here's why. Oftentimes, they can always go back to the life they already have right now, right? So it's not like you don't know how to get back to the life that you have right now. It's there for you. You can maintain the same weight. You could have the same health you currently have right now, have the same relationship or no relationship right now, have the same spirituality, have the same career. So there isn't as much risk as you would think. And that's why I recommend you go back to one of my previous podcasts on what we called fear setting. And that fear setting allows people to understand what risk there really is. I would love you to go back and check out that show on that. That was a previous Mindset and Motivation Monday. But what happens is this. So you could take the risk and it may not work out, okay? I'm a realist. It may not work out. Now, I'm a believer, though. If you never give up and you never quit, it's difficult to fail. Now, might it take you a little bit longer? Yes, but it's difficult to fail if you never give up, because there are only so many ways to attack a problem. So again, it's a mindset. It is truly about a mindset. So I believe the risk is typically worth it. And even if you didn't achieve it, you tried. You tried, and now you have perspective, and you will never live with regret of not having tried. So that's at least my recommendation. It's something to think about. I can't tell you exactly what to do with your life, but I can't recommend enough hedging your bets, figuring out, playing with the fear setting, and figuring out how you can take this risk with as much of a no-risk attitude and security as possible. Now, what I want to do is this, though, because there aren't a lot of people that are ready to take that risk. And here's why. People typically fall into 3 different categories. And I wish I could attribute this to the brilliant philosopher and person that it should be attributed to, but I don't know where it came from. Maybe someone on Instagram today, just at my name, Stephen Cabral, where I publish every single day on Instagram, the podcast, can share with others who was the first person to talk about this. But it's basically, there's 3 types of people in life. And really we fit into categories. Now, we don't know that we're in this specific category unless it's been brought to our attention. For example, I fell into category number 1 for the longest time, for pretty much up until maybe about 20 years old, 21 years old. And the first category of people, they ask, what happened? So they're basically in the what happened group, which means this. They are a bystander in life. So they're watching life go by, and they're essentially being pushed almost like the tide. They're being pushed onto the beach, and they're being brought back out to sea because they don't really control a whole lot in their life. They allow other people to dictate their future, but they don't know that that's going on. They actually are completely unaware that they have any personal power or that they can take control of their life. So I didn't know that I could have put maybe more effort into a specific sport. I didn't know that I could maybe put more effort into how I went about choosing a college or whatever it might be. I could have put maybe more effort into any number of things in my life. But I didn't really know that, okay, well, like if I do this, then it equals this, then it can lead to this. I kind of went along with the crowd. Okay, like in high school, for example, guidance counselor tells you to do this. I just took her word for it. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll do that. Or, hey, did you know that by actually signing up for these extracurricular activities, you can meet more great people, you can learn different things? I just wasn't well versed. I wasn't very worldly. I didn't understand that much because you know why? I didn't even know it was available to me, right? So that's the first category. You're simply unaware. You're unaware. You're a part of the world, but you're not necessarily an active participant, okay? So keep that in mind. And again, these are not bad people. I don't think I was a bad person, but I was unaware. I wasn't even aware that you could change. I didn't know that. I was who I was. You're telling me I could change my personality? Really? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You're telling me that if I work at something specifically and I refuse to give up, that I can ultimately achieve it? I don't believe that. You either have it or you don't, right? Like it's one of those things. So I was unaware. And I was probably a little bit stubborn and immature in that way as well. So the category number 2 is this. The next level is this. People who are becoming more aware, but they're more in the contemplation stage. They're more in the watching stage. They don't necessarily believe yet, but they're more aware that there's something that they might be able to do. They're aware that there are body transformation plans out there. They're aware that there are other types of practitioners out there for health. They're aware that there are dating coaches. They're aware that there are different services to meet great people. They're aware that there are counselors that could, or programs that can help them enhance their current relationship. They're aware that there might be certifications or night school or whatever it is to potentially learn more and switch careers. They're aware that they could follow a new-based spiritual teaching, that they could go back to church, that they could meet with a friend on their spiritual-based path, whatever it might be. So they're aware, but they're in the watching stage. They're in the contemplation. They're thinking. They're thinking, should I do this or not? Now, the problem with this stage is this. We can get stuck there for years and sometimes decades. And we're basically in this state of paralysis by analysis. It means we're aware of options, but we don't necessarily know which one to choose, or we say we don't have the time, We don't want to be bothered. We don't want to learn something new. And so we do nothing. This is a risky state because people in category level 1, they don't typically worry about risk, and they typically don't have as many regrets because they didn't even know it was a possibility. They didn't even know that it could be possible that you could go back to school at 50 years old. They didn't even know it was a possibility, right? Not with them, not their family, not their community. Nobody in their sphere, their circle does those types of things. So there's no real regret. Like, it's just, hey, this is the life that you were born into, and it's kind of the hand that you were dealt, and it's what you get. They don't even know. Again, I was a part of that. I got it. Like, that was the programming. I understood it from culture, community, and family. But then somehow, some way, again, completely feel grateful to be able to be exposed to some new teachings that maybe there's a different path to take. Maybe there's possibilities that you can change. This is now that stage 2. Now, it took me a little while to move through this. But once you move through this, you are able to make it to the 3rd stage where many people, maybe hopefully listening to this podcast, you yourself are at. And this is the category and the stage and the type of person that makes things happen. They're actively participating in their life. They believe that through efforts, visualization, feeling, thoughts, and creating a plan for their life, that they are able to actually create the life that they want. They're able to get the body, the health, the fitness, the spirituality, the relationships, the career, the finances, everything that they want in life. Is life always perfect for this person in this category? No, it's not. Do they sometimes question themselves? Of course they do. Are they sometimes anxious? Are they sometimes overwhelmed? Do they also worry about how to take things to the next level for them as well? Because there's always a next level. Of course they do, right? But they are an active participant. They are always trying to better their best, although they realize they are not perfect. But what happens is this. As you move into this last stage, as you move into this 3rd category of person, you realize that you have a sense of personal power, that your life is not completely out of your control, that things are not all left up to chance, that although you don't control everything in life, you do get to change and control your response to certain situations. And to a large degree, you really are the master over your own domain. That you do have an ability to manifest that which you want in life. But what happens is, more importantly than anything else, you begin to increase self-awareness. So the person in category 1 asking what happened, there's kind of life's just going by, like, hey, like what happened? There's very little self-awareness. There's very little empowerment. Category number 2, okay, a little bit more self-awareness. Enough to say, maybe I should do something about this. They can at least say that. Maybe I at least should try something. Not empowered totally yet, but enough to say, there's a possibility I could do something different. And then category 3 is more self-awareness, assessing what's going on in their life, what they have right now, what they would like to have. So here's the thing though. Most people start in category 1 with their pre-programming from childhood. It becomes their subconscious mind. And what we need to do is begin to rewire our belief system. So it's simply beginning to realize that you hold within you so much more power than you could possibly believe. And this is often very difficult to comprehend when you might be the first person in your community, in your family, out of your friends, your coworkers, to achieve something that no one else has. You might be the first person in your family to lose the weight and keep it off. You might be the first person in your family to be able to overcome Hashimoto's or some other autoimmune issue, type 2 diabetes, or high blood pressure. You might be the first person to have a solid, strong relationship that holds through. You might be the first person to be able to earn a really good income and to do the work that you love. Or you might be that person to actually find that peace, find that happiness through the spirituality you were looking for. So you need to begin to believe that even though maybe no one else around you has that, there are other people in the world that do, and honestly, they're not so special. And I don't say that in a mean way. They are people just like you. And although all of us I really do consider to be special and unique, we are so much more alike than you could possibly imagine. But what we need to do, though, is open up possibility, is believe that really the only thing standing between you and your goals is taking that risk, putting in the effort, being willing not to quit. And it's honestly the understanding and becoming okay with not winning every time. I mean, that's a big part of the process. You don't always need to win. What you need to do is participate, right? And I know that gets made fun of a lot lately is just, you get a trophy for participating. But remember, participating is more important than anything in life. You need to be an active participant. And then in order to win, you need to participate over and over and over again. Because as you continue to practice and perfect your craft in whatever it is, you begin to learn and grow. You begin to realize that with every failure actually comes the opportunity to learn, and from that comes growth. If you never fail, if you make your life too easy, you are really not going to grow. You are stunting your growth-based curve. And I'd say this too. It really means, being successful really means becoming okay and comfortable with being uncomfortable. You probably heard that before. Start to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Why? Every time you do something new, which is how we achieve something new in our life, but every time we do something new, it moves us out of our comfort zone. We've never been there before. Our body naturally says, no, be careful. But we have to realize that we need to move forward, do new things in order to become that new person and have that new life that we want to enjoy. It doesn't have to all happen at once. So you can take your time. You can take steps towards that progression. And I would say this, start to actually want to seek out becoming uncomfortable, because you understand that you know that on the other side of that temporary risk, right? And every risk becomes easy after you've already mastered it, right? You've taken so many risks. You've probably taken so many risks in your life before. Meeting a new person, doing a new health-based program, going off to college for the first time, getting married, having kids. You've taken many risks. Another risk is no different. It's just different from what you've already experienced. And remember, with all of these new risks, there is that uncomfortable stage. And there might be a little bit of temporary pain with whatever you're doing in that learning-based process. But that is what we need to seek out. Because when we seek out growth over anything else, we will get to enjoy more happiness, more fulfillment, and more passion in our lives. Hopefully today's Mindset and Motivation Monday topic was helpful. As always, if it was, please do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it can serve. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp hearts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.